The Alien Hunter by Jansen Davies. Chapter 1. Blood on the Asphalt. The desert highway shimmered under the late afternoon sun, heat waves rising like ghosts from the cracked asphalt. Stella Lassiter sat in the back seat of her parents' SUV, legs tangled in sleeping bags, earbuds in, sketching aliens in her notebook. Long claws, black eyes, armored chests. She didn't believe in them. Not really. They were just monsters she drew to scare herself. Her mom was humming along to Fleetwood Mac. Her dad was arguing with the GPS. They were halfway between nowhere and nothing, headed to a national park Stella didn't care about. She was 12, bored, and already counting the days until she could leave home forever. Then the sky tore open. A thunderclap without clouds, a ripple of blue light. The SUV screeched to a halt as something massive descended onto the highway ahead. Sleek, metallic, shaped like a dagger plunged into the earth. The air went still. Even the cicadas stopped. Her dad opened the door. "Stay in the car," he said. He didn't get far. 3 figures emerged from the ship, tall, armored, reptilian. Their movements were fluid, almost graceful. One raised a weapon shaped like a spine, a pulse of green light. Her father collapsed, chest smoking. Her mother screamed. Stella dove into the pile of sleeping bags, heart hammering, breath held. She peeked through a gap in the fabric. Her mother ran toward the SUV. Another pulse. She fell, face first, into the dust, unmoving. The aliens approached the vehicle. Stella didn't blink, didn't breathe. One of them scanned the car with a device that chirped and clicked. It paused near the back seat. Stella's fingers tightened around her pencil. She imagined stabbing it through the creature's eye, but the device gave a low tone. Negative. No life signs. They moved on. Stella waited until the ship lifted off, until the sky stitched itself shut again. Then she crawled out, knees shaking, face streaked with tears and dust. She knelt beside her mother's body, touched her hand. It was still warm. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She picked up her notebook, tore out the page with the alien sketch, and pressed it against her chest. That night she slept in the wreckage of the SUV, curled up in the sleeping bags that had saved her life. By morning she had a new sketch. This time the alien had a bullet hole between its eyes. Chapter 2. The Making of a Weapon. Stella Lassiter turned 18 on a Tuesday. She celebrated by walking into a Marine Corps recruiting office and signing her life away. The recruiter glanced at her paperwork, then at her face. "You sure about this?" She didn't blink. "I want infantry, combat training, no desk jobs." He raised an eyebrow. "You got family in the service?" "No," she said. "They're dead." He didn't ask how. Boot camp was designed to break people down. Stella didn't break. She didn't bond, didn't joke, didn't flinch. She ran faster, shot straighter, and fought harder than anyone in her platoon. Her drill instructors called her Dark Casper. She moved like a ghost, but she wasn't friendly. She never smiled, never slept more than 4 hours. She kept a notebook under her pillow, alien anatomy, tactical formations, weapon sketches. She wasn't there to serve her country. She was there to learn how to kill. In the field, she was surgical. Urban combat, jungle warfare, desert survival. She absorbed it all. She learned how to move silently, how to breach doors, how to clear rooms. She learned how to track heat signatures, how to read terrain, how to improvise explosives from household chemicals. She volunteered for every live fire exercise. She requested sniper school. She aced it. Her instructors flagged her for special operations. She declined. "I'm not staying," she said. "I got what I came for." They didn't argue. She left with honors, a stack of commendations, and a reputation as someone you didn't want to meet in a dark alley. She didn't go home. She didn't have one. Instead, she bought a motorcycle, black and high-tech modified. She rode west with nothing but a duffel bag and her notebook. She had a new mission now: find the monsters, learn their patterns, and when the time came, kill them all. Chapter 3. Predator Training. Stella Lassiter didn't believe in justice. She believed in patterns. After the Marines, she vanished from government radar and reappeared as a bounty hunter, working freelance contracts for law enforcement. Her specialty: tracking serial offenders, rapists, killers, abductors, the ones who slipped through cracks and vanished into the underbelly of America. She didn't do it for the money. She did it to study predators. Her first target was a trucker who left bodies in rest stops across 3 states. Stella found him in a motel outside Tulsa, eating canned beans and watching cartoons. She waited until he fell asleep, then zip-tied him to the bed and called the cops. She didn't speak to him. She just watched him squirm. Her second was a prepper in Idaho who buried victims in his backyard and planted trees over the graves. Stella posed as a survivalist, joined his militia, earned his trust. When he showed her the burial map, she shot him in the leg and left him for the sheriff. Each case taught her something: how killers move, how they hide, how they think. She kept notes. She built profiles. She learned to read body language, to spot deception, to anticipate violence. She didn't just catch them, she dissected them. Her reputation grew. Cops called her the unlisted number. She never stayed in one place, never left fingerprints. She rode into town, found the monster, and disappeared before the paperwork cleared. She started wearing body armor under her clothes. She modified her motorcycle with hidden compartments, weapons, burner phones, encrypted tablets. She stopped sleeping in motels. She slept in safe houses, abandoned buildings, underground shelters. She was preparing. One night, after bagging a cult leader in Arizona, she sat on a rooftop watching the stars. Roger called her on a secure line. "You're getting good at this," he said. "I'm not hunting humans," she replied. "I'm practicing." He paused. "You think they're still out there?" "I know they are." She hung up and stared at the sky. Somewhere, the monsters who killed her parents were still walking the earth, and she was getting closer. Chapter 4. Kill and Vanish. The CIA didn't recruit Stella Lassiter through normal channels. They found her through a back door, an encrypted dossier flagged by a contractor named Roger Calther, a cybersecurity analyst with clearance and curiosity. He saw her bounty records, her military file, her pattern of movement. She was off-grid, off-book, and off-limits. He sent a message through a burner network. "You want to learn how to disappear after a kill?" "We can teach you," she replied with coordinates. The training facility was buried in Virginia woods, unmarked and unwelcoming. Stella arrived on her motorcycle, handed over her weapons, and spent 6 months learning how to become a silent assassin. She studied poisons, fast, slow, undetectable. She learned how to forge identities, how to manipulate surveillance, how to erase digital footprints. She practiced infiltration, seduction, sabotage. Her instructors called her the Quiet One. She never asked questions. She just absorbed. Roger became her handler. He was lean, sarcastic, and brilliant. He spoke in code and wore his heart like a glitch in the system. He admired her precision, her silence, her refusal to play by anyone's rules. She tolerated him. Their first mission was in Berlin, a rogue diplomat selling alien tech to black market buyers. Stella posed as a buyer, poisoned his drink, and left before the ice melted. Roger wiped the cameras. No trace, no motive, no witnesses. Their second was in Bogota, a cartel scientist reverse engineering alien biology. Stella infiltrated his lab, planted a virus, and watched the compound burn from a hillside. Roger called it art. She called it necessary. Between missions, they met in safe houses. Roger cooked. Stella cleaned her weapons. He tried to make her laugh. She didn't, but she listened. One night he asked, "Why do you keep going?" She looked at him. "Because they're still out there." "You mean the aliens?" She nodded. "And I'm not ready yet." He didn't press. He just handed her a new identity, a new target, a new route. She became a myth in the intelligence community, the woman who never missed, never lingered, never left a trace. Her kills were clean, her exits cleaner. But she wasn't killing for country. She was rehearsing. Every mission was a simulation, every target a proxy. She was building muscle memory for the real war. And when she finally walked away from the CIA, she didn't say goodbye. She just left a note on Roger's encrypted server. "I'm ready." Chapter 5. The First Conclave. The junkyard in Arizona looked abandoned, rusted cars stacked like tombstones, sand drifting through shattered windshields. But Stella Lassiter knew better. She'd intercepted a coded transmission on a darknet channel used by alien sympathizers. Roger had decrypted it, a supply drop scheduled for coordinates outside Yuma. The message mentioned biological containment and surface-level cloaking. Translation: alien nest. Stella arrived at dusk, her motorcycle silent as a whisper. She wore desert camo, body armor under a loose jacket, and carried a suppressed rifle, 2 knives, and a satchel of homemade explosives. Her helmet fed her thermal overlays, and comms linked to Roger's satellite rig. "I'm in position," she whispered. Roger's voice crackled. "No movement topside, but there's heat below. Subterranean." She scanned the yard. A rusted school bus sat half-buried near a collapsed shed. Its windows were blacked out. Stella approached slowly, checking for tripwires. None. She opened the bus door. Inside, the floor had been cut away. A steel hatch led downward. Alien glyphs glowed faintly around the rim, language she'd seen once, long ago, on a highway soaked in blood. She descended. The tunnel was narrow, metallic, and cold. Her boots made no sound. The air smelled like copper and rot. She passed through a biometric scanner, alien tech fused with human wiring. It didn't register her. She was invisible to their systems. Below, the tunnel opened into a chamber. 3 aliens stood around a console, their armor glinting under blue light. Reptilian, tall, with elongated skulls and clawed hands. They spoke in clicks and growls, unaware of her presence. Stella planted 2 charges behind support beams, then crept closer. She wanted one alive. She lunged from the shadows, slashing the throat of the nearest alien before it could react. The second turned. She shot it through the eye. The third tried to flee. She tackled it, pinned it, and injected a paralytic into its neck. It convulsed, then froze. She dragged it to a corner, zip-tied its limbs, and activated her translator. "Who commands this nest?" she asked. The alien hissed. "You are marked. They will come." "Who?" "Farnan." She leaned in. "Where is he?" The alien laughed, a wet, gurgling sound. "Everywhere." She slit its throat. Then she triggered the charges and ran. The explosion rocked the desert. Metal shrieked, fire bloomed, and the junkyard collapsed inward. Stella emerged from the hatch, covered in dust and blood, breathing hard. Roger's voice came through. "You okay?" "3 down," she said. "1 interrogated." "Did you get a name?" "Farnan." Silence, then, "I'll dig." Stella looked back at the smoking wreckage. It had begun. Chapter 6. Roger's Warning. Roger Calther hadn't slept in 2 days. His monitors glowed in the dark. Satellite feeds, encrypted comms, alien chatter scraped from deep net forums. He'd built a digital dragnet around Stella's movements, tracking anomalies, intercepting signals, watching for patterns. Tonight, the patterns changed. A kill team had landed in Nevada. No supply drop, no conclave, just 4 armed aliens moving with precision, scouting, scanning, searching. Their heat signatures matched the ones Stella had eliminated in Arizona. They weren't hiding, they were hunting. Roger patched into Stella's comms. "We've got a problem." She was riding through Utah, wind roaring in her helmet. "Talk." I intercepted a burst transmission, encrypted alien dialect. It referenced your Arizona hit. They're mobilizing. "How many?" "4 confirmed, maybe more. They're not random. They're coordinated." Stella didn't flinch. "Good." Roger paused. "You don't understand. They're not just retaliating. They're tracking you. They've got your scent." "I want them to." "You're baiting them." "I need more intel. Every team I kill gets me closer to Farnan." Roger leaned back, rubbing his eyes. "You're playing chess with monsters. I'm the queen toying with pawns." He hesitated. "You should go dark, change routes. Let me reroute your trail." "No." "Stella." "I'm done hiding." Silence. Then Roger said, "I pulled Farnan's file. He used to be human, CIA asset, went rogue during Project Olympus. Disappeared, reemerged as something else." "What do you mean, something else?" "Hybrid, alien tech fused to human biology. He's not just leading them, he's evolving them." Stella's grip tightened on the handlebars. "Then he's mine." Roger's voice softened. "You're not invincible." "I don't need to be." "She killed the comms." Roger stared at the blank screen. He knew her better than anyone, knew the trauma, the obsession, the cold fire behind her eyes. She wasn't just hunting aliens, she was chasing the moment she'd watched her parents die. And now, the moment was chasing her back. Chapter 7. Nevada Burn. The casino was called the Spire, a glass monolith rising from Reno's neon sprawl, all chrome and shadow. Tourists came for the slots, VIPs came for the private rooms, but Stella Lassiter came for the aliens. Roger had traced encrypted financial transfers to the casino's offshore accounts, shell companies linked to Project Olympus. The building's blueprints showed a sub-level not listed in public records. Stella knew what that meant. A nest. She arrived dressed to kill, literally. Black cocktail dress, thigh holster, poison capsules sewn into her clutch. Her red hair was swept back, her eyes cold. She checked into the penthouse suite under a stolen identity. Victoria Kane, arms dealer. Roger fed her intel through a hidden earpiece. "Your target's name is Marnex, alien lieutenant, runs trafficking ops, humans, hybrids, tech. He's in the VIP lounge. You've got 1 hour before the next security sweep." Stella entered the lounge like smoke, silent, alluring, lethal. Marnex was easy to spot. Tall, pale, too symmetrical. His disguise was human, but his eyes were wrong. Too still, too black. She ordered a drink, sat beside him. Let him talk. "I've heard of you," he said. "Victoria Kane. You sell weapons that don't exist." She smiled. "I sell to buyers who don't exist." He laughed. She touched his arm, slipped a capsule into his drink while his gaze lingered on her cleavage. Minutes later, he was convulsing in the private elevator. She dragged him into the penthouse, zip-tied him to a chair, and activated her translator. "Where's the sub-level?" He spat blood. "You won't make it out alive." "I don't plan to." He laughed. "You're marked. Farnan knows your scent." She leaned in. "Then tell him I'm coming." She slit his throat. Then she planted charges in the suite, under the bed, behind the minibar, inside the ventilation ducts. She walked out as the fire alarms triggered and the building shook. From the parking garage, she watched the top floor erupt in flame. Roger's voice crackled. "You're insane." "I'm effective." I pulled the sub-level schematics. "It's not just a nest. It's a lab." "Then I'll burn that next." She rode out of Reno as sirens wailed behind her, the city glowing in her rearview mirror. Another conclave down. Another message sent. Chapter 8. The First Termination Team. The canyon was narrow, jagged, and silent, perfect for an ambush. Stella Lassiter had scouted it days earlier, mapping every ridge, every blind curve, every echo chamber. She planted claymores along the high ground, tripwires across the choke points, and buried a remote detonated mine beneath the only exit. Then she waited. Roger had intercepted the kill team's route, 4 alien operatives, heavily armed, moving fast. They weren't searching anymore. They were executing. "They're 30 minutes out," Roger said. "Thermals show heavy armor. One of them's carrying a plasma cannon." "Good," Stella replied. "I want them confident." She took position on a ledge, ghillie suit blending into the rock. Her rifle was custom, suppressed, high-caliber, armor-piercing rounds. She checked her scope, breathed slow, waited. The first alien entered the canyon, scanning with a shoulder-mounted sensor. Stella fired once. Headshot. The body dropped like a stone. The second sprinted for cover. A claymore detonated, shredding its legs. It screamed in a language she didn't recognize. She silenced it with a second shot. The third and fourth split, one climbing the ridge, the other flanking low. Stella triggered the mine. The canyon shook. Dust clouded the air. The flanker vanished in the blast. The climber reached her ledge. They fought hand to hand, brutal, fast, savage. The alien was stronger, faster, but Stella was smarter. She used leverage, terrain, and a hidden blade in her boot. She stabbed it through the neck, pinned it, and injected a paralytic. It convulsed, then froze. She zip-tied its limbs and activated her translator. "Who sent you?" The alien hissed. "Termination protocol. You are contamination." "Who gave the order?" "Farnan." She leaned in. "Where is he?" The alien's eyes flickered. "He watches. He learns. You are not the only hunter." She slit its throat. Roger's voice came through. "You okay?" "4 down," she said. "1 interrogated." "Did you get anything?" "He's watching me." Roger paused. "Then he's adapting." Stella looked out over the canyon, green blood on her hands, dust in her lungs. She wasn't just fighting back. She was drawing Farnan out, and he was starting to respond. Chapter 9. Ghost Town. The town wasn't on any map. Roger found it buried in a declassified Project Olympus archive, coordinates in New Mexico, listed as decommissioned asset. No population, no utilities, no records past 1997. Stella rode in at dawn. The buildings were intact but lifeless, dust-coated windows, rusted signs, playground swings creaking in the wind. It looked like a place frozen mid-rigor mortis. But her thermal scanner told a different story. Heat signatures, underground. She parked her motorcycle behind an old diner and moved on foot, sweeping for motion sensors and tripwires. None. That was the first red flag. Aliens didn't need human defenses. She entered the church first. The pews were gone. In their place, incubation pods, translucent, pulsing, filled with fluid and something moving inside. Not quite human, not quite alien. Hybrids. She felt her stomach turn. Roger's voice crackled. "I'm seeing biotech signatures. This isn't just a nest, it's a lab." "They're breeding," Stella said, "mixing DNA. For infiltration. Or replacement." She moved to the schoolhouse. The chalkboards were covered in alien glyphs. Desks had restraints. The gymnasium was a surgical theater, blood-stained, reeking of antiseptic and decay. She found a survivor. A girl, maybe 15, eyes glazed, limbs trembling, skin mottled with alien tissue. She was strapped to a gurney, whispering in broken English. "They said I'd be better," the girl murmured. "Stronger. I don't want to be stronger." Stella injected her with a sedative. "You won't be." She planted charges throughout the town, beneath the church, inside the school, under the lab. She carried the girl to her bike, wrapped her in a blanket, and called Roger. "Get me an extraction. Medical evacuation quiet." "On it." She rode out as the town erupted behind her. Fire, smoke, screams. The girl slept through it. Roger met her at a safe house outside Santa Fe. The girl was stabilized, sedated, and transferred to a black clinic off-grid. Stella didn't ask what would happen next. She didn't want to know. Roger looked at her. "You saved someone." Stella shook her head. "I stopped something." He didn't argue. That night, she added a new rule to her notebook. No breeding labs, ever. Then she crossed it out, because she knew there'd be more. Chapter 10. Farnan's Past. The safe house was buried in the Colorado Rockies, cold, quiet, and shielded from satellite scans. Stella sat at the table cleaning her rifle, while Roger paced, his fingers twitching over a tablet. "I found him," he said. Stella didn't look up. "Farnan?" Roger nodded. "He was human, CIA asset, real name, Dr. Elias Farnan, biotech specialist. He worked on Project Olympus, alien tech integration. The goal was to create hybrid operatives. He volunteered." Stella paused. "Volunteered?" "He believed in evolution, thought humanity was too slow, too fragile. He injected himself with alien DNA. The transformation was irreversible." Stella holstered her pistol. "Where is he now?" "Unknown, but I found a relay station in Wyoming. It's transmitting encrypted orders to alien cells across the U.S. Farnan's voice print is embedded in the signal." Stella stood. "Then I burn it." The facility was buried beneath a decommissioned radar array. Stella approached at night using thermal overlays and drone recon. The perimeter was guarded by 6 aliens, armored, armed, and alert. She moved like smoke. First kill, a sentry on the North Ridge. She slit its throat, caught the body, and dragged it into the rocks. Second kill, a patrol near the generator. She planted a flashbang, waited for the distraction, then dropped from above. 2 knives, 2 kills. Third kill, a sniper nest. She climbed the tower silently, garroted the alien, and used its rifle to take out the 4th guard below. The last 2 converged on her position. She triggered a claymore. 1 down. The survivor charged, massive, fast, wielding a plasma axe. Stella dodged, rolled, fired 3 rounds into its chest. The armor held. She switched to her blade, slashed its leg, then stabbed upward into its throat. It collapsed, gurgling. She entered the station. Inside, alien consoles, glowing glyphs, and a central relay pulsing with data. She planted charges, but paused. Farnan's voice echoed through the chamber. "You are persistent, Stella Lassiter." She froze. "I watched you on the highway. You were small, weak, but you adapted. That makes you interesting." She scanned the room. No speakers, no cameras. The voice was embedded in the signal. "You kill well, but you do not understand what's coming." She activated her translator. "Then explain it to me." Silence. Then, "I am not your enemy. I am your future." She triggered the charges. The station erupted in flame as she sprinted into the night, the voice still echoing in her ears. Back at the safe house, Roger stared at the data Stella recovered. "He's not just leading them," he said. "He's building something." Stella nodded. Then we'll tear it down. Chapter 11. Texas Trap. The border town was dying. Boarded windows, empty streets, dust swirling through forgotten alleys. Stella chose it for one reason: isolation. She leaked intel through a burner network used by alien sympathizers. A false report. Alien hunter sighted in Del Rio. Injured. Vulnerable. Roger monitored the response. "They're coming," he said. 6 signatures. Heavy gear. One of them's a commander. "Good," Stella replied. "I want rank." She spent 2 days wiring the town, shape charges in alleyways, tripwires in door frames, pressure mines beneath manhole covers. She turned the sheriff's station into a kill box, reinforced the walls, set up sniper perches and fallback routes. Then she waited. The kill team arrived at dawn. They moved like a unit, disciplined, silent, scanning every rooftop. Their armor was upgraded. Their weapons glowed with alien energy. The commander wore a black crest on his chest. Farnan's insignia. Stella watched from the bell tower of a church, rifle steady. First shot, the rear scout. Headshot, the team scattered. Second shot, the demolitions expert. Chest hit. Armor cracked, finished with a grenade. The aliens regrouped, pushing toward the sheriff's station. Stella triggered the alley explosives. 2 down. Screams echoed through the dust. The commander breached the station. Stella was waiting. They fought in close quarters, blade against plasma, speed against brute force. He was stronger. She was crazier. She used the environment, slammed him into a filing cabinet, blinded him with a flashbang, stabbed him through the joint in his armor. He collapsed, choking. She knelt beside him, activated her translator. "Where is Farnan?" The alien coughed blood. "He waits, he watches, he builds." "What is he building?" "A new Earth." She slit his throat. Roger's voice came through. "I intercepted a signal. Farnan knows you're in Texas. He's pulling assets from Colorado, Montana, and D.C. He's consolidating. Why?" "Because you're winning." Stella looked at the burning town, bodies strewn across the streets. "No," she said, "because he's scared." Roger paused. "I found something else. A facility in Colorado, buried under a military base. It's not just a nest. It's command headquarters." Stella's eyes narrowed. "Farnan?" "Confirmed." She reloaded. "Then we finish this." Chapter 12. The Montana Fortress. The coordinates led to a mountain base near Fort Carson, Colorado, officially decommissioned, unofficially humming with alien energy. Roger had traced encrypted transmissions to its core. Farnan was inside. Stella arrived under cover of night, dressed as a civilian contractor. Her forged ID passed the outer checkpoint. Her gear was hidden in a false-bottom toolbox. Rifle, knives, EMP grenades, and a custom virus Roger had built to fry alien tech. She moved through the base like a shadow. The facility was massive: steel corridors, biometric locks, armed guards with blank eyes. Some were human, some weren't. Stella marked them all. Roger whispered in her ear, "Sub-level 3. That's where the signal originates." She descended. Sub-level 3 was colder, quieter. Alien glyphs pulsed along the walls. The air smelled like ozone and copper. She passed through a decontamination chamber, then into a central lab. What she saw stopped her cold. Pods, hundreds of them. Each one held a hybrid, part human, part alien, suspended in fluid. They twitched. Some had faces she recognized: missing persons, soldiers, children. Farnan wasn't just building an army. He was replacing humanity. Roger's voice cracked. "I'm in the system. This isn't a lab. It's a replication hub." They're cloning behavioral templates, memory, emotion, instinct. Stella moved to the control console. Alien interface. She plugged in Roger's virus. 10 seconds, he said. Alarms triggered. Doors slammed shut. The virus spread. Pods began to rupture. Fluid spilled. Hybrids screamed. Then Farnan spoke. You are persistent, Stella Lassiter. She turned. He stood at the far end of the chamber, tall, armored, half human, half monster. His skin shimmered with alien circuitry. His eyes were black voids. You could have joined me, he said. You could have evolved. I'm not interested in becoming a parasite. He smiled. You already are, feeding on vengeance, consumed by it. She raised her rifle. He moved fast. She fired 3 rounds. He dodged, closed the distance, struck her with a backhand that sent her flying into a console. Sparks erupted. Pain lanced through her ribs. She rolled, drew her blade, slashed his leg. He roared, grabbed her throat, lifted her off the ground. You are nothing, he hissed. She triggered an EMP grenade. It detonated point blank. Farnan staggered, circuits shorting. She dropped, gasping, and emptied her pistol into his head. He fell, eyes staring upward. Dead. Roger's voice came through. Facilities collapsing. You've got 60 seconds. Stella limped to the exit, flames licking the walls. She passed the ruptured pods, the dying hybrids, the burning consoles. She didn't look back. Outside, a black SUV waited. Roger was behind the wheel. She climbed in, bleeding, silent. He looked at her. Was it him? She nodded. He's dead. Roger didn't speak. She paused, then activated the detonator. The facility erupted behind them. Fire, smoke, screams. The tunnel collapsed. The signal died. Outside, the desert wind howled. He reached for her hand. You're not just a hunter anymore. She looked at the horizon. No, she said. I'm the warning. They drove away as the mountain exploded behind them. But Stella knew it wasn't over. Farnan was just one node. The war wasn't over. But the message was clear. You can invade, you can infiltrate, you can evolve. But if you kill her family, she will find you. And she will end you. Epilogue. The signal. The desert was quiet again. Stella Lassiter stood on a ridge overlooking the wreckage of Farnan's fortress. Smoke curled into the sky. The wind carried ash and silence. Her armor was scorched. Her blade was chipped. Her eyes were clear. Roger sat beside her, typing on a tablet patched together from alien tech and CIA scraps. No transmissions in or out, he said. We cut the head off the snake. Stella didn't respond. He looked at her. You did it. She shook her head. I started it. Roger frowned. You think there's more? She pulled a small device from her pocket, a fragment of Farnan's relay core. It pulsed faintly, a dying heartbeat. I think this was just the first wave. Roger stared at the signal. It's broadcasting. To where? She looked at the stars. Not here, out there, she said, point skyward. They sat in silence as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the sand. Stella opened her notebook. The pages were worn, blood-stained, filled with sketches, maps, kill counts. She turned to the last page. She wrote, If they come again, they won't find Earth unarmed. They'll find me. She closed the notebook and tucked it into Roger's jacket. Why me? He asked. She stood, strapped her rifle to her back, and mounted her motorcycle. Because you'll know where to send it. The engine roared to life. She rode into the night, a lone figure against the stars. Behind her, the signal pulsed once more. And somewhere, far beyond Earth, something answered. It could have been crying. It could have been laughing. But whatever it was, it had been warned. The end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, please hit the bell icon for notifications. Thank you.